Okay, this is a AR rifle I built. I couldn't decide on the upper. I was looking 6.8, 6.5, 450, 300 blackout, all kinds of things. Everything had pluses and minuses, whatnot. I eventually decided I wanted something fairly cheap to shoot, so I went with 7.62 by 39. The lower is an Anderson I picked up for a really good deal. Put it in a Wilson Parts Combat Kit. It's got a core grip, Magpul stock. The trigger is POF. It's their 4.5 pound no take up. It's actually an excellent trigger with their no walk pins. Not that I've ever had an AR trigger walk anyway, or the pins walk anyway. But anyway, and then I have the POF Puritan 7.62 by 39 upper. Put about 40 rounds through it, just getting this little cheap scope sighted in. The reason I put the scope on it at all. The POF says the upper will do 1-inch groups at 100 yards with quality ammunition, quote, quality ammunition. So far I've only shot the TulAmmo ammunition, which would obviously not be quality ammunition. First magazine we're going to try is the Seller and Belay, the 7.62 by 39, 123 grains. The second magazine that we'll try is 123 grain also. It's a Winchester white box, which I don't know is great quality. And then I've got 40 rounds of Tula loaded up because, let's face it, the main reason that you shoot something like this is because you want to shoot Russian ammunition, shoot cheaply, all that. So, got a target down range down there, and after we're done here, I'll go take a picture of that and kind of add that into the comments as well, so you can kind of see how I did. It's late, it's cold, I'm not the greatest shot, so you put all that together when you're looking at the results we get. I've had several failures to detonate a round with the tool ammunition in the first 40 rounds. And we'll see if that happens with the brass case or not, and we'll also see if it kind of cleans up and works its way through that as it goes along. No issues to feed yet, but I've only been doing 5 rounds at a time. So one of these rounds I've got, or one of these mags I've got 25, 26 rounds in, and we'll see how that does. The magazines are 28 rounds, and they're just ugly as sin. So first up, Seller and Belay. I'll shoot at the bottom left target. The bottom right is what I was shooting at to sight it in, and we'll see how he does. So, bottom left target with S&B. Alright, looks like I'm shooting high with the S&B, but it looks like I did get several of them together. We'll see how it goes. Obviously it fed just fine, but again, it's been feeding just fine with the tool ammunition, so I would assume that it would feed just fine with this as well. Alright, so top left, this is the Winchester white. Did not put together a very good group with that, that's for sure. But it looks like it's 2 inches or so, so certainly no worse than your standard AK. Here we go. This is the tool ammunition, and I'll do top right. And then after I fire 5 rounds, there's a steel plate down there, and I'll just start shooting at that. Boy, that was a flyer. Click. I'm going to guess that's a light primer strike. Give it a couple seconds just to make sure. And indeed a light primer strike. It's actually a fairly decent primer strike, but the Russian ammunitions can sometimes have pretty hard primers, and we'll see if we keep getting those or if that's a once per magazine type thing. Yeah, I'm kind of all over that target on the tool ammunition, on that top right, and now we'll just kind of shoot at that metal plate down there. Okay, that mag's empty, and this one should be almost full. So you can see, by the way, in the magazine it's ugly. Okay, and we're empty. So results wise, you know, it fed just fine, which is the big problem with ARs, especially if you don't want to do the CMMG dedicated AK mag AR, which costs $1,500 for some reason. So it definitely fed the Russian ammunition. It did have a couple of one in that series, but about I think 3, maybe 4 earlier, where it didn't detonate the round. The primer strike just wasn't hard enough, and that's something I can talk to POF about, whether or not there's a spring I can trade out or something, get a little stronger on that. It's real easy to do follow-up shots. When I was shooting fairly quickly at the metal plate down there, I think it's about 2 foot by 2 foot at 200 yards. I was hitting it fairly reliably. I was hearing like a slap coming back from it. Hopefully that shows up in the video. And the sight picture was staying there, so I could keep rattling off shots. Obviously looking to do more of a red dot on this than the scope. You know, the purpose of this rifle not being long range stuff at all. But you could do some longer range stuff with it, I guess. You know, 123 grain bullet moving at 2,000 feet per second at the muzzle. You know, I guess you could do some hunting stuff with it if you were so inclined. Me, it's more a matter of toy planker kind of a deal. And the 7.62 by 39 ammunition being as cheap as it is, especially assuming I can get the ammunition to run reliably in terms of the primer strikes, that would really make this thing just really cool. I do like it a lot. It handles really well. It is POF, so it is good quality stuff. And like I said, I'll try to get a picture of the target and post it in the comments so you can kind of see how I did. My fingers are freezing, so I'll blame part of my inaccuracies on that, but part of it's just me being a bad shot. So there is that too. So the POF upper.